Well, a very good afternoon to you. Thanks for clicking on to the, what day is it today? Friday edition, Friday the 24th of February, on what is a lovely day here across central Scotland. The sun is shining again. We've got a cooler air mass returned back in place again, following a frontal system pushing southwards over the course of last night, introducing fresher air, brighter skies, and temperatures down around 8 or 9 as compared to 11 or 12 yesterday across many parts of Scotland. We have got still a pretty strong wind blowing out of the west, making it feel a lot cooler. But as you can see here, as I look northwards from my attic here in the house, the sun is shining over the Campsie Fells on a glorious late February afternoon. But certainly we have got quite a change in place across the UK, especially across northern parts of the UK, as high pressure produced an 18.7 Celsius high yesterday at Coles Hill in Greater Birmingham. We have got cooler air trying to work its way southwards, eradicating that very mild air across central and southern parts of England. We are going to see enough of a delay with that southward moving frontal system, bringing that cloud and rain, albeit patchy in nature. It will be enough of a delay to see temperatures boost 16 Celsius probably across parts of London, and perhaps even an isolated 17 across parts of Norfolk or Suffolk this afternoon. But certainly we've got a different type of weather map today. You notice here the greens starting to show up across, or yellows at least, paler colours starting to show up across Scotland. The high pressure itself starting to get forced south of the UK, lower in heights, and therefore we've got less ability to warm that air, just quite the same as we've seen yesterday. But certainly a much brighter day across Scotland, a cloudier day across areas that were dominated by warm sunshine yesterday. But over the course of the upcoming weekend, folks, we've got yet more wind across northern parts of the UK, another band of heavy rain pushing across Scotland tomorrow. But it might remain generally north of the central belt. Well, that remains to be seen yet. But you notice how the high pressure itself is squashed somewhat, lower heights. But folks, even across the Midlands, down into the southeast of England, temperatures, though cooler by several degrees, it remains above normal for the month of February, or for this time of year anyway, across many parts of the British Isles. It might be a little closer to normal up across Scotland, but certainly across, anywhere from Greater Manchester southwards, it remains above normal persistently, should I say. And what's interesting is we have got an indication, according to this model, I've seen it yesterday, I've seen it yet again today, the potential for yet more warming taking place. So a return to cooler this weekend. The high pressure remains dominant enough that we continue to see sunshine across the Midlands, down into the south of England. The high pressure perhaps enhanced by that drought over England. We are struggling to see rainfall work its way into the south of England. We are going to be seeing rain pushing through Greater London, for example, later today, but nothing, substantial, nothing to really get that ground soaked, so to speak. It remains well below normal in terms of the moisture content of the soil, and that could be a concern later down the road. Now, I believe a byproduct of this drought will yet again be seen into next week. The reason being is the model shows yet more high pressure trying to build in. You look at this here and you're saying to yourself, Mark, where's the high pressure here? We see lower heights, cooler air. Where's that warmth? Look over to the west of the UK, folks. We've got a very strong jet stream blowing across the Atlantic. On the underside of that jet stream, we have a pocket of warmth yet again on the underbelly of that jet stream. What's going to happen is it's going to pump the ridge yet again that's centered over this part of the world here. West of France, northwest of Spain, you've got a dominant area of high pressure here. What this is going to do is it's going to pump that ridge yet again over the British Isles. So by Tuesday into, Monday into Tuesday, you notice here the ridge yet again pumped across the north, all of the UK in fact. What does that tell me? We've got temperatures yet again shooting well above normal. We could be looking at temperatures equally as warm as it was yesterday. That is remarkable, isn't it? For this time of year, we're still in the month of February, folks, and we could be looking at temperatures yet again rivaling yesterday. Now, this is an interesting map here. Notice how you've got the yellows here covering the British Isles, but you've even got darker yellows now. That indicates stronger heights across the majority of England, even into eastern parts of Scotland. I know it's hard to see that here on this map. What does that show us? We've got a very warm, mild air mass in place, centred over the UK, and of course, if you've got that the southwesterly wind, now notice the isobars here, so that would indicate that the air is flowing around this area of high pressure clockwise, as pulling very mild air from the south up into the UK. Now you factor in once again the dry soils as well as some of that wind at the surface blowing up and over and down the other side of those hills. That would indicate the enhancement of downslope, a compressional warming. So we could be looking at, even though we just missed the record for February yesterday, many areas topped out at 18 Celsius. But of course, the record being 19.7, it wasn't broken. Do we see a chance at seeing that record broken before we reach March? Now, this would be Wednesday the 29th of February, and it is a possibility that somewhere in this, from the Midlands into the southeast of England, perhaps Gravesend at this point, could be looking at 20 Celsius, which would beat the all-time February UK record, which is 19.7 at Greenwich back in 1988. So a very interesting map for sure. We have got warmer conditions yet again into early and mid next week. The cold air can just not get into the UK this year. It's just remarkable, really. You skip ahead of Thursday. The high pressure, yet again, dominant. Yes, we've got a flirting of cooler air trying to work its way into the UK, folks. By Friday, you see that here. That is not cold air, folks. That you see the paler colours. You even see the greens trying to work its way into the UK. But by Friday into Saturday, you notice here the high pressure yet again pushes out of the south, pushing away any chance of colder air trying to work its way into the British Isles. Folks, for the next 10 days, I don't see any cold or snowy weather here in the UK. Do we have that drought impacting our skies above, warding away cold, snowy weather and keeping that warmer air from the south? Yeah, it's a possibility, folks. That is for sure. You'll have to look at that drought across England. Ask yourself the question, is that leading to stronger than normal high pressure aloft? And yeah, we can see that across England in particular. You know, you've got the wet, windy conditions across the north, but it's struggling to work its way in to many parts of England. You'll notice that with clear skies, warmer temperatures, that could have a detrimental impact this spring and the summer ahead if we don't break down, if we don't get a series of wet systems pushing its way across the drought areas of England. That could have a serious impact on this summer. What's also interesting is if I skip back, you notice here, this is Saturday again, if you skip through the sequence here, folks, you notice here, this is the upper level map, of course, that the colder air trying to work its way back into central and eastern parts of Europe. Nothing like we've seen over the past month, but we have got winter holding on across parts of Germany, Poland, into Russia. Temperatures struggling to get above freezing. In Moscow, we could be looking at temperatures -4 Celsius for highs, -10 for lows, into early and mid next week across eastern parts of Europe. But milder conditions remain in place. I don't see any change in the near term across the British Isles, unfortunately. But continue to keep checking back. Follow me on Facebook and Twitter for regular updates. Hope you have a great day, folks. Bye-bye.